Hello there, meow mentors. It's Cat Lady Justin. This is the Kitty Boss, where we pick, pamper, and protect your practically perfect pussycat for a lifetime of unconditional love. And this is our very short shit show. Pardon my French. I should say something else. But anyway, it's the show where we bring you our good friend, the cat Savant, and we talk about all things from food to digestion to elimination to what to watch out for. And because we just had Thanksgiving in the USA, not here where I live, and we also just had other holidays, and because more holidays are coming up, we've got a lot to talk about. So welcome to the show. No cat ears today because we don't need any costumes, do we? How are you doing?
Great to be here. I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great. I mean, I had a little accident, washing up some dishes, but nothing major. So I'm here. I'm doing well. Other than my left hand, which is a bit out of commission for, well, no, not really out of commission. I just have to be kind of careful with it. But other than that, I'm great. And the cats are great. And you mentioned to me before that you guys hosted your Thanksgiving just a few days ago at your house. So I think what would be really interesting to talk about a little bit is because that's in the past. But what's not in the past is the litter box. So what are some things that maybe we should look out for as we're scooping out our litter and putting it into the Scoop Buddy container, which hopefully everyone has one for convenience? What should we watch for in the litter box? And that could be the, liquid, solid, or other things like, cat throwing litter everywhere or not going in. Stuff that we should look out for in the aftermath of the holidays.
Sure. Yep. So we hosted our first Thanksgiving with a family coming into our house, and our house is kind of a little loud as it is because we have 3 small kids. So I don't think it was much change for the cats at all. They actually like the extra attention from adults, so they had a great time. One of my kitties loves turkey. So for Thanksgiving here, we cook turkey. And when she smells it, she loves to come running. And so she was my pal in the kitchen for Thanksgiving. And she did have some turkey. So turkey is a good item to share. And you might even have that for the upcoming holidays as well.
Or leftovers, even if you have leftovers, right? You could feed him some turkey as long as it's not with tons and tons of herbs, because we got to be careful which, or some are okay, some are not so safe. So we just got to be careful, or glazing, the sugar. We don't want to do that. But if it's just plain, turkey meat that's not, got too much other stuff in it, that's actually good for them, And so save those leftovers for them too.
So I always keep some aside that either, I make sure there's no seasoning on it, or, kind of just keep it plain for the kitties to have a little something special on, when we're hosting as well. Another thing we'd love to have is pumpkin pie. Now, the pie part is not really great for kitties, of course, because of all the extra sugar and seasonings. But actually, pumpkin is a very healthy thing for kitties to, in small doses, of course. And even some of our cat food, actually, in the US anyway, actually has some pumpkin in the wet food that we have. And they actually like it. So it does have some good added benefits. Of course, within reason, small amounts. Too much could upset their tummy too. So like with anything else.
Yeah, because I mean, it's interesting you mentioned that, because we talk about a lot of people, us and cats are obligate carnivores. Yes, that's true. But let's remember, cats also consume, let's say, a bird in the wild, let's say, because this is where this theory comes from, which is true. They eat a bird, they kill and eat a bird, or they kill and eat a squirrel, or they kill whatever it is, a rabbit, whatever they're killing and eating. That animal has stuff in the stomach. And in that stomach, generally those animals, bunnies, birds, it makes me sad, but bunnies, birdies are vegetarians, right? So in that stomach, which the cat's going to eat, there'll be some veggies in there, or in the intestine, there'll be some veggies, and the cat's going to probably eat the intestine. And it sounds gross, I know, but this is nature. And if the cat was a wild animal, like in the past, it would be doing this. And sometimes our cats brings us gifts, and it's some kind of rodent or whatever, and it has some stuff missing. And there's some vegetables in there. So even in their natural carnivore diet, there's always been some vegetable content that's actually been, kind of digested or pre-digested by the animal that the cat's eating. So inserting a little bit of that, but very targeted, like because maybe it has prebiotics, like it helps with digestion and smoothing out things, or maybe it has some minerals in it, like some little bit of selenium or something in it that enhances the cat. Again, like you said, in small doses and in within reason. It's not, there's no cats a vegetarian. Obviously, they would be dead. So
Right.
anyway, I'm glad you mentioned that, but I wanted to throw that in there because it's really important. But like, what should we look out for in the litter box? Like after, let's say, a day later or a few days later, what should we be checking out down there as we're doing our chores?
Yeah, I mean, you want to make sure they're staying regular so you know your cat the best. And if things are changing, if they're going to bathroom more frequently or less frequently, just keeping that in mind, because there are a lot of things that are around the house. And in our home, we also get ready for the next set of holidays, which for us is Christmas. And we start taking out the Christmas trees and all of that. And even some of the decor may have ribbons, so just being mindful if you're seeing like little pieces of anything, like little shards of ribbon or string, just, keep an eye out and make sure they're still acting themselves. And if you see, of course, if there's any GI upset, you're looking for some, vomiting around the house or even loose stools in the litter box as well. So, always be mindful, be aware, especially with people coming into your home. If you're hosting holidays yourself, they may not be as attuned to you as you are with your cat. And, they also might get a little stressed out. I know one of my kitties tends to chew on like even fake plants or fake flowers. So that's another thing to keep in mind. If you get a real tree, if you celebrate Christmas, if you bring in a real tree, being careful of that water dish as you're setting up the tree, because, the tree itself, depending on where you get it from, they may have, additives, put like preservatives in a sense. Even some are sprayed with like flame retardants. So just making sure, what the kitty is getting into and keeping an eye on that litter box. So you want to scoop it frequently and again, keeping tabs on their litter box behavior. So nothing goes too long without being taken care of.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of scooping it frequently, I mean, don't think this is like a big chore or anything, because if your litter box isn't like right next to the toilet and you can just dump the stuff in there, or if you have the kind of litter that you can't put in the toilet, just get yourself a scoop buddy. It couldn't be easier. Don't take my word for it. Go to the website, catsavant.com, CATSAVANT. There's only A's. Cat Savant, so it's easy. .com, AAA. I mean, it's no. That's another. That has to do with cars.
That's a different thing.
That's with cars. No, not cats. I get car, cat. Yes. Sorry, I got confused. Yeah. Okay. No, but just go there and get one. I mean, it's not expensive. I'm not telling you to go buy some like $1,000 like automatic cat machine loot, which your cat's gonna be terrified of anyway. And it's very rare that a cat will actually use one of these robotic litter boxes. I mean, some can be trained into it, but it's terrifying. So anyway, get a scoop buddy and job done. So anyway, so as you're doing that, you need to pay attention to that kind of stuff, because and also if there's a change in the defecation, if there's a change in there, if it's a lot softer or a lot less soft, like constipation style, they may have gotten and eaten something they shouldn't have eaten.
Right.
During the holidays.
Happening.
Could be something, could be food, but it could be a non-food item as well, like the plants that we bring in our house. And then you mentioned the trees. Let's not forget those artificial trees, because a lot of us prefer that. It's easier and cleaner and goes in the attic. But then there's these trees that I've seen for sale, and they've got like snow, like fake, like snow type stuff on them. Now that stuff is a deadly poison, very dangerous for your cats. It's not safe for you either. So yes, it's pretty. It looks like your tree has snow in it, but it's not a safe thing to have in your house. I know some people argue with me and it's a conspiracy theory, whatever, but we know this for a fact. That stuff is not good for your cat, and it flakes off. It gets on their fur, they lick it up, and now they have a problem, and you don't know why, and the vet doesn't know why. It's your tree. So just be very careful with those. I would recommend don't buy one. It's not worth it. They're cute, but then it's great to just have your normal tree and put your decorations on it, and you're fine. You don't need that little snowy effect. It's unnecessary. So just be very careful with it. And same thing with the tinsel. That's really something. A lot of times it's very attractive for a cat, like a cat toy, but it's not a cat toy, and they can swallow it, and it very easily comes apart. And so be very careful with that kind of stuff. Again, my preference is I just don't bring it in the house because I prefer that most things here are cat safe. It's not 100%, nowhere is, but most things. But if you have to have it in there, just be super careful with it and be mindful. If you start seeing it in the litter box, there might be a problem that you need to call the vet up, especially if your cat's behavior has been a little off. That's another thing. That's the major thing to watch.
And with the frosted trees too, we actually tried years ago trying one, and we didn't realize how easily the fake snow or the frosted, look of it just drops. Then it gets on their paws, and then they're licking their paws, and just, even if some trees, I guess, are made better than others. So this particular one just kept falling, like anytime you walk past it, and I was like, oh my goodness. So that didn't last very long. But just keeping in mind, like when they're walking on their paws, and then they're tracking in, and then they're licking their paws to clean themselves, they're going to ingest it. And, there could be mouth irritation. There could be even some blockages, or like you were saying, like loose stools. So just making sure, look for those clues in the litter box with, often daily scooping, hopefully, if not more, depending on how many, kitties you have in your home. And just kind of being mindful. Another thing that a lot of people tend to love around this time are those poinsettias. And those, oh my goodness, they are not allowed in our house, but they may look beautiful, but it's not worth it at all. Like they are they're not to cats. And,
they're not great for your cat. They're very toxic, and then your cat has a problem, and and that's all because you have a pretty plant. And some cats are better than others at keeping away from stuff like plants. Like you can just put it somewhere and the cat doesn't access it. But if you want to gamble like that, that's up to you. It's interesting. You brought up something, and we should actually do another show about this, because it would take up a lot of time just to discuss this. But multi-cat households, because we just mentioned watch the litter box, but then if you have 3 cats, well, how do you know which one? So we'll do a separate show discussing just multi-cat households and how to, and maybe some tips that we can think about for that. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up soon. And then we'll have another show, of course, next month. And next month will be around holidays again, a different holiday this time. It'll be Christmas and New Year's and all of that stuff. So we'll talk about that. And because it'll be probably a pre-New Year show, so it'll be like post-Christmas, pre-New Year. What we'll really talk about and give you some tips on is the fireworks and that kind of stuff, because that scares cats. But then we do want to talk about the litter box behavior, because we talk a lot about the behavior tips when it comes to what, like give your cat a safe space, upstairs or in a separate room, or this, that, and the other thing. But then, but what about the litter box? Are you supposed to move that upstairs in your room under your bed? What do you do? So we'll talk a little bit about the litter box, like specifically, because that's what we're looking at on this show, is the behavior around the sort of the digestion and elimination and all that. So stay tuned for that. That'll be our Christmas special, or whatever you want to call it, holiday special, really, because there's lots of other holidays, and not everyone celebrates Christmas. And if you're maybe, let's say, atheist and you celebrate nothing, that's okay too, because other people will be doing the celebrating, and that might impact your cat. So we'll talk about that in that context. So is there anything else you'd like to add or say around turkeys, Thanksgiving, pre-holidays, post-holidays, anything around that?
I mean, if you're giving your kitty some table food, just make sure that's safe
Mm,
before, they partake, and as plain as possible. So like the turkey or the pumpkin, make sure it's plain. Obviously they have some
hmm
benefits, but, and then, yeah, just keeping tabs in that litter box.
Yeah.
It's the key to your cat's health. That's how you know if something is, wrong or needs to warrant a vet visit or,
Quite often
um,
vets ask for a sample, don't they? They ask
right.
for a sample because
Yes.
they can tell a lot from that stuff, and so you want
Yep.
to start to get good at it too. And yeah, and check out. Just look up, do a search online on Google if you're ever in doubt. Is
Yeah.
pumpkin safe for cats, or is turkey toxic for cats? You know, I mean, the answer is
And
no. By
just
the
be
way,
careful of the
I'm not
onions and, the
but
additional
is
things.
onion safe for cats?
Right.
Oh, but I basted them and the turkey's been roasting in an onion base for like 9 hours. Well, in that case, you may not want to give that onion soaked turkey to your cat. So you just want to check your ingredients and do a quick Google search answers. Like, I'm sure, do you know what? I'm sure these days all of our AI friends can also
There
answer
you
this
go.
question.
Yep.
Because if I gave you a list, and I actually have one. I have a list of the most
Yeah, we do
common
too.
ones for Kitty Boss people, so I can give Kitty Boss fans a list and send it to you, or but it's never like super complete because otherwise it'll be a whole book
Right,
of things.
right.
Unfortunately, cats are very sensitive, so the best thing to do is a quick search. And you know what? There's even a cat GPT these days. There's a chat, but there's also a cat
There
one. It's
is.
it's really fun. All it does is go meow 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 meow,
Oh,
but
okay.
that's all it does. I
There was an
think.
app one time I downloaded because it claimed that you could talk to your cat with it. So
Oh,
the cat would come over. I don't know. It was enticing. I don't know if she could understand me or not, but it was an idea.
I've seen that too, and these various things, and you can train them with buttons and all that. That's just those are really cute gimmicks, and maybe I'll try it one day. But
Yeah.
but what would be really cool is if anybody would like to, and it would take obviously investment, and or if anybody who watches the show is a programmer and wants to work on this with us, is to do like a Kitty Boss cat GPT. So there's already a cat GPT, so we can't use that because that's been taken. But all it does is go meow meow meow. But to actually program it in with like really awesome and good information about
Yeah.
everything to do with cats, and actually have that be like, the Kitty Boss GPT, that would be, or Kitty Chat or whatever, I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that would be a really cool little project. But the only issue with that is, well, I mean, your normal one could do it anyway. You just ask it
Yeah.
a question, say, is this, so you don't need that. So, because it accesses the information anyway. So it's unnecessary, but it'd be fun. It'd be fun to
Yeah. Just an
have a
idea.
branded, a branded version for
Right.
us. Anyway, just a thought. So I'll see you in a month. We'll talk about the sort of pre-New Year, and hopefully then everyone will be prepared for that. So if your
Yeah.
cat streaks across the house panicking because of a firework and leaving a streak literally across your carpeting, you'll know what to do.
Yes.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Well, it's nice chatting with you. Bye bye.
Yep. Nice chatting with you too. So, guys, remember, this is our short show, The Shit Show, because it's about the digestion stuff. And so if you need a scoop buddy, it's catsavant.com. I don't make any money off of it. I just have one, and I love doing this and talking about this in addition to our longer show around cat behavior. So it's the Kitty Boss, where we pick, pamper, and protect your practically perfect pussycat for a lifetime of unconditional love. This is Cat Lady Justin, and we'll see you real soon.